As humanity entered this present year 2024, it has also embarked on an immensely valuable and important universal process, of which many are still unaware, but which is indeed unfolding. This is a profound transformation of humanity that goes beyond the earthly aspects of the earth. In this process, Dolores Cannon has named it the Great Shift and suggests a profound transformation of humanity and its collective consciousness, aiming to fulfill the Earth's destiny of ascending to a higher dimension. According to this distinguished researcher and hypnotherapist, this process has been brewing for a long time and would reach its pivotal moment at a specific point, which appears to be set in this year 2024. Humanity has been undergoing a lengthy process in which it is evolving into a conducive space for a higher humanity, where each individual is aware of their creative power and acts as an active participant in the creation of reality. Just imagine how wonderful it would be to live in a dimension where each person can enjoy their perfect and dreamt reality, all without harming the reality of others, forming together a perfect dimension that flows under elevated principles, fully enlightened and ensuring collective well-being. This is precisely the destination we are headed towards. But to reach this dreamed place, it is necessary for the Earth, both in its physical form and in its spiritual and conscious state, to undergo a change that aligns things for the journey into this new reality. Many people are highly perceptive and already feel the great energy moving around this significant change, which involves a process that will be challenging in many aspects. Let's remember that, in addition to undergoing a unique process and journey, we are also part of a collective journey that includes all the souls inhabiting this earthly plane. Therefore, a collective transformation and changes in our environment necessarily imply a series of personal changes that will directly impact that collective consciousness. Many people are not aware that each of us is connected to others in ways that are sometimes unimaginable, so one person's actions end up affecting others. Imagine each action you take as a force-generating energy which expands like a ripple to places beyond what you can see and beyond what you believe is your sphere of influence. In large part, this collective change will involve an awakening of consciousness for all souls, who will increasingly become aware of their potential, the interconnectedness of all, and the way the universe moves with us to help us grow in consciousness and lead us to that new dimension ready to embrace us. This is not just a hopeful idea for many. There are metaphysical and quantum physical foundations supporting this upcoming event for Earth and humanity. Many changes are on the horizon for 2024 and the arrival of the Great Shift, but they propel us toward a realm that Dolores Cannon has shed light on, indicating from her knowledge and research what awaits us. Perhaps as an incentive, what Dolores Cannon describes speaks of a perfect space where even your deepest desires are materialized from that creative power residing within each of us. Although many people still do not accept this, each soul that has come to inhabit this physical space possesses an internal capacity to create what resides in their mind and feelings. However, this will only happen if their being aligns with their own energies to make it so. This is a topic that many enlightened individuals have already addressed, and it has explanations based on energy, as we know that energy is never destroyed, but rather transformed. From there, the question arose about what happens to the energy that emanates from us and our thoughts. What was discovered in this regard is simply wonderful, and it speaks of how that energy transforms into everything that surrounds us, creating a scenario where we are the ones responsible for controlling everything we experience. However, for this so-called manifestation to take place, it is necessary not only for the energy of thought to emerge from us, but for it to go hand in hand with our feelings, words, and actions. But at this point, the question arises about how a world where manifestation is the main actor could function, especially when even the deepest desire can take form, and no one knows the depth of the thoughts of other souls. Perhaps uncertainty may seize many at this moment, thinking about the potential for evil to become real. However, What happens is that only those who, like humanity, have worked in the depths and elevated themselves to another level of consciousness will have access to this promised land. In this place, things are governed by different principles, and without a doubt, only those who accept being guided by the heart and love will be able to inhabit it. Those who still cling to ego will remain stuck in the current place, missing out on the opportunity to enjoy absolute well-being and the maximum happiness offered to us. But to better understand this profound change that will take place in the present year 2024, we will examine each important aspect of it, always relying on the knowledge that Dolores Cannon has provided to the world. So pay close attention, because this knowledge can make the quantum leap we will take together towards a new and elevated dimension easier for you. Point number 1. The evolution of consciousness. It's not only us who possess consciousness, nor should we see it as an annoying little voice residing within us. A state of consciousness is one in which we acknowledge and accept each of the forces and energies existing within us and also surrounding us. Being conscious involves accepting that there are things that transcend far beyond what meets the eye. Fearing them only hinders our internal growth as we cling to this fear, preventing us from advancing towards higher realms where our souls can dwell and acquire new knowledge. Just as we possess individual consciousness, humanity also possesses a collective consciousness. It depends on each of us as individuals and is affected by each of our actions and energies. The way we all connect is something perfect and precise, even if many do not accept or ignore this idea. Their actions and thoughts still influence humanity. A person who closes themselves off from self-improvement is inevitably delaying the process of raising the consciousness of humanity as a whole. However, this is not a reason to confront each other, but an opportunity to practice infinite love and compassion. We all have a different process and progress at our own pace, but ultimately, we are all destined to undergo that internal transformation that will allow us to transcend beyond the dimension we currently inhabit. However, this transformation might be closer than believed, because the energies moving around the threshold of the year 2024 could expedite the process for everyone. But this won't be rushed or anything of the sort. Things will simply start aligning in the ideal way for everyone to go through their awakening and then get to work on their internal journey. Let's remember a bit about what awakening is. It's when our being opens up to a more spiritual reality and begins to confront the challenges, fears, and traumas that keep it stuck in this dimension, growing from within. When our being opens up in awareness and begins to accept knowledge, that's when the doors open for its innate potential to gain greater strength, and with it, our reality starts to transform. This is strongly supported by Dolores Cannon's theory of parallel realities, leading us to consider the possibility that there is indeed a dimension that all the prepared ones can access and manifest their desires in. This process implies the end of our Earth, as we have conceived it so far. However, it's not something to be scared of, because it doesn't mean everything will be destroyed. It just means that the forms currently known will crumble to make way for our new dimension. We will all be compelled to transform our beings, and thus contribute to the collective consciousness shift of humanity. Through this, we will make this leap from the third dimension, where we currently reside, to a fifth dimension, faster and easier. Currently, we live in the third dimension, our known reality, where negative energies have been given too much power, preventing the place we inhabit from enjoying the benefits promised by the land we are heading towards. But once our being has awakened, and we are ready to place ourselves in that new level of consciousness, we will see how energies like love and compassion begin to govern everything within us and in our space. Many people may feel overwhelmed by the multitude of changes that will occur in their lives, as these will confront them with ideas, beliefs, and thoughts that are no longer beneficial for their lives and the new place they are heading towards. However, beyond all this, the reward is significant, and we must see each challenge as an opportunity to improve and grow. Dolores Cannon urges not to underestimate the importance of inner work amid this significant change, as each of us will contribute to the leap of humanity to a new level of consciousness. Point number 2. Witnessing change in action. Even though many of us have discussed the profound change that humanity, and consequently, the Earth will undergo, we must understand that a series of consequences will unfold from this. However, these consequences should not be viewed as negative things. They are simply the results of the internal and spiritual change that is taking place, manifesting in the physical and earthly realm. Manifestation comes into play again here, as from change and transformation arises a manifestation of what we are eradicating and the new energies that are being established and materialized. That's why, at this point, we talk about witnessing the change in action. Beyond what each individual will have to face internally, we will also witness the metamorphosis that humanity and everything around it will undergo. When we focus on genuine, challenging, and liberating inner work, we can almost instantly see how things begin to take on a different hue for us. Our energy changes, and with it, everything around us changes. We observe how many things, people and situations anchored to negative energies exit our reality, making way for things with which we now resonate. That is, with what we connect our thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Let's see our planet Earth as the manifestation of everything each of us, everything we know and consider normal, is nothing more than a reality created based on the level of collective consciousness we manage. Everything, both good and bad, is a product of us as humanity. Even the cruelest and saddest scenarios are a reflection of what we collectively harbour. While some may interpret it as divine punishment or omens of the end times, the reality behind it is a bit different. Even though the end of times and the current reality is approaching, this should not be seen as a devastation of humanity. Instead, we should understand that we will all be touched and called to transform ourselves to make our reality different. It is true that many things will crumble, but only to be rebuilt from the power and energy inherent in light, love, and compassion. The forms and systems we know will be replaced by new ones, where these principles governing the fifth dimension we are venturing into will be the foundation. To understand more deeply what we will see, we must also know what this fifth dimension, as described by Dolores Cannon and other figures dedicated to this path of wisdom, is like. According to Dolores Cannon's proposal, this place is governed by limitless compassion and love, where all individuals living there operate under cooperation and forgiveness. At the point where we currently find ourselves, conceiving this way of life is extremely challenging for some people. However, this is a possible and tangible reality for us, especially from this year we are living, as 2024 promises to discard completely those beliefs that keep us skeptical of this space. Everything that hinders our progress will be erased, even the challenges we must face. There won't be an easy path, but the reward will be much more valuable. It is worth noting that there are beliefs that have been transmitted from generation to generation for many years, which are not true and only seek to limit the being. These will cease to exist, and everyone will inevitably move away from them, challenging what you believe to be true based on knowledge. The paradigms imposed under erroneous ideas will be crossed by all of us, and those who do not allow themselves to awaken to knowledge will not be able to make the leap alongside us. But more than seeing these individuals as anchors to this dimension, we should view them as people who will be inevitably moved by us and the work we do. Therefore, emphasis is placed on the importance of looking within yourself and getting to work on everything that affects your growth. From there, you will see how everything changes for you, and you will also be amazed to witness how everything in our surroundings is changing to align with higher energies and principles. Point number 3. Preparation for the great change. As crucial as this change will be, it is equally important that every soul is prepared for this event. At this point, we must revisit Dolores Cannon's premise about parallel dimensions, from which we observe that the possibilities of diverse realities seem almost infinite. Even though the dimensions described by Dolores Cannon are open for prepared individuals to inhabit, preparation is the indispensable requirement. Throughout time, we have seen how many emphasize that one cannot receive something without being prepared for it. This reality applies to virtually everything in our lives, as it is inconceivable that things like an academic degree, a job, or even a promotion cannot be attained by someone who is not prepared to assume it. Just as it happens on the physical plane, it also occurs on the earthly plane, where we cannot access higher levels or manifest our desires without having our being prepared and willing to do so. Remember that this event happening in the current year 2024 is both at an individual and collective level. Those who do not undergo the transformation process will not be able to access the coveted fifth dimension where we will inhabit in the future. The higher the realm we aim to access, the more demanding the level of consciousness we must achieve. In this aspect, there is no trick or way to deceive the universe, as it does not see what you project but the energy emanating from you. In this regard, there is no way to pretend. Many times we encounter people who portray an image of optimism, light, and a strong connection to the spiritual. But observing how their lives unfold raises curiosity about the disparity between their projected image and their actual reality. Why does this happen? There may be many situations and factors at play in these cases, but the most recurring one is that your energy does not align with the image you project. Therefore, you may deceive others, but you can never do so with the universe, which reads what is within that individual. Inevitably, we are destined to live with the reality we create from within, turning it into one of the best or entirely sad and impossible to enjoy. As expressed by more than one wise person, the quality of our thoughts determines the quality of our lives. Though it may sound trivial, thanks to the knowledge shared by many sages and enlightened individuals on the spiritual path, we can confirm that this is an undeniable truth. We cannot demand that a person holding on to fears, doubts, and other negative energies create a perfect and harmonious reality, as they still have many unresolved issues that prevent them from moving towards a state of well-being. These individuals will also lack the ability to transition to this new dimension, since it involves being in a space with which they do not align and, therefore, do not belong. But things are not lost for these individuals, because part of what will be experienced in 2024 is an awakening of consciousness, both collectively and individually. The universe opens the perfect gateway for all of us to work on our inner selves, facing what we need to address, whether it's fears, wounds, traumas, or any unresolved pain. Everything will align for these souls and humanity as a whole to let go of these burdens. This is presented as a meticulously designed grand plan in which we are all active participants, and we all have a share of responsibility covered through this inner work. Each one's part in preparing for this major change can be aided by various techniques and tools available to all, with meditation and contemplation being key elements in our spiritual arsenal. However, this is not the only approach. There are those who choose to maintain a daily journal, reflecting on themselves without pretensions and addressing each of the unexplored aspects of their being. Through this daily writing, they can detect if there is something beyond what they are consciously aware of that keeps them stagnant. The truly important thing here is to get to work on the part designated to each of us, which is our inner self. Although it may seem insignificant, it will either aid or delay the transformation of humanity. Point number 4. Global unity and its manifestation in this new earth. We must appreciate the premise shared by Dolores Cannon, in which each of us is an active and intervening participant in that collective consciousness, and the leap it will take from the year 2024 for the transformation of the earth. Based on this understanding, we realize that we are all connected and united in an undeniable and sometimes unimaginable way. The actions of one directly and proportionally affect others and contribute to that collective well-being. Therefore, amidst this profound transformation, humanity will be unified, sharing all responsibilities for that state of well-being, and each seeking the greater good. This does not mean that individuals will not be owners and creators of their desires. Collective well-being and happiness become paramount, but accessing this new earth and state of consciousness does not imply that we will live a life of sacrifice. An intriguing and beautiful aspect that Dolores Cannon describes when discussing the fifth dimension is the ability for each soul to manifest its perfect reality while maintaining collective well-being and happiness. Beyond an illusion, it is a perfect place to dwell, presented in this form thanks to the energies and principles that govern this new earth. It will be a dimension built upon the foundations of love, unity, compassion, and collaboration. All these energies must permeate every space and every individual, especially when we talk about love. We refer to an infinite love, from which the practice of compassion and forgiveness is an essential part. These qualities can only be harbored by individuals who have delved into the depths of their being to work on themselves and their expansion process. This journey can be intense and challenging in every aspect. Many of us bury things deep within ourselves that we don't want to show or think should not be addressed from our ego's perspective. People often wear masks to meet societal standards, but ultimately, these facades will have no use in this new realm. That's why the time has come to cleanse our being and prioritize personal growth, a process through which we can let go of our ego. If we choose not to do so, we will miss out on the perfect reality offered in the new earth. No one who clings to their ego will be able to access this new space to dwell. Therefore, the year 2024 invites us to work on ourselves and rely on practices that connect our soul with our elevated consciousness. We will all be guided to navigate this transformational path successfully, which is a mandatory step on the route leading to this new dimension, rising above the familiar third dimension we currently inhabit. Part of the motivation that Dolores Cannon can provide us to face these individual and collective challenges is the way the Earth is envisioned after the year 2024. What you consider normal will undergo an absolute change. The way governments operate will collapse to build new systems based on love, where fear ceases to be a factor and is eradicated. These governments will not exercise control over societies, but will guide them. All individual and international conflicts will be erased because each member of this new earth will be driven by compassion, able to recognize and forgive each other. However, this is the least of the concerns to consider, as from unity, everything known will be transformed. Each person inhabiting this new dimension is conscious of their actions and the consequences they have on others and humanity. Therefore, their behavior will be much more harmonious. There will be no need to harm others, as everything each person desires will manifest for them. The idea of harming others will be unthinkable and impossible. The common good will prevail at all times, and each person will contribute to maintaining it, along with harmony. Offences that anyone may hold will be forgiven and overcome, providing an opportunity to refine oneself and align with the energies of this dimension and the new state of consciousness that will be enjoyed. The earth itself and the physical space will be cleansed so that everything in this space is new and pure, completely free from any energy contrary to what has been established with this great change. Everything will be renewed, and it will be felt in that way. That's why Dolores Cannon calls it the new earth, because even though the physical space will remain the same, everything known will be renewed for the fifth dimension to arrive and establish itself as reality. Considering all that has been discussed, we understand the magnitude of the event we are about to experience this year, and we also appreciate the intense transformation that the Earth, humanity, and each of us will undergo. This is where I pause to ask you, are you ready for this great change? Let me know in the comments section, as it is an open space for all of us to express ourselves and share knowledge. I'll be happy to read everyone's thoughts and accept requests for future topics. If you found this information helpful, I invite you to join this channel to continue exploring and gaining knowledge together. For now, it's time to say goodbye, but if you enjoyed my content, you can give it a like. See you in the next edition.